Hi everyone, Drs. Rachel and Nicole here from Sprout Family Chiropractic. We have talked a lot about back to school time recently in our most recent Whiteboard Wednesdays, and we're going to kind of ride the coattails of that because anyone who has school-age children, you know exactly how much your child is learning. Academically, socially, activity-wise, extracurriculars, everything. And we all know that our kids are cute little sponges and they're literally soaking up every interaction and every piece of knowledge. And they're observing and changing neurologically at an exponential rate. So today's Whiteboard Wednesday, we're going to go into what happens when babies and kids get adjusted. To do that, we're going to deep dive into how babies and kids' brains, and even us adults, our brains, how they can change so that they can, 1, learn things at a crazy fast rate, 2, excel at school and whatever other interests and hobbies they have, and most importantly, 3, to stay healthy. So let's get into it.
So your kids, your little sponges, start developing those brain or neural connections before birth, which play a crucial role in what they're able to do after birth. And as they grow and get older, those connections continue to develop, they strengthen, and most importantly, they change. This is called neuroplasticity, or the ability of the nervous system to change. If you haven't heard of neuroplasticity before, it's basically the brain's ability to modify, change, adapt, both in structure and function throughout life in response to different experiences. Even as neurologically-focused chiropractors, it still blows our mind that the body is so intelligent that the brain's function and structure can change at such a fast rate. And as pediatric chiropractors, we know that baby and kid brains are the most plastic, as we can see from our drawing on the whiteboard. And this is so important because infancy and childhood is really what sets the stage and the foundation for all future learning, behavior, and health. If you remember from our very first baby brain development Whiteboard Wednesday way back when, building the proper foundation lays the necessary groundwork for the development of those fancy finishings, things like speech, cognition, social, emotional, behavioral things. Those fancy finishings, they really rely on the strength of the basics that we talked about in that video. And not only does the brain and the nervous system have the ability to change, but your kid's DNA itself has the ability to change what's being expressed and what isn't. Think of it like, yes, each of us are dealt with a certain hand of cards, but we actually have more control over which cards we play than we think. This is true for every single person, a newborn all the way up to an 120-year-old. This is called epigenetics, which just means the environment, both inside and outside of the body, influences what genes are turned on, and to say it another way, which cards are we playing at any given moment. We refer to this as the epigenome. Research has shown early experiences have lifelong impacts on health, behavior, and so much more for children through their epigenome. On the one hand, kids can have positive, calm, chill, supportive experiences, but on the other, they could also have stressful experiences, be exposed to toxins in food and environment, and have negative experiences. So a lot of times, the tone-setting moment in a baby's life is their birth. Was it a positive, calm, supportive environment with as little intervening as possible for mom and baby, where they could both progress naturally through labor and birth? Or was it chaotic and stressful and traumatic for both baby and mom? This is really the defining moment where a baby's young brain learns what the world is like and how they should respond to it.
Exactly, and this is really where the heart of pediatric chiropractic lies, and why babies and kids should be adjusted, and what's actually happening when they do get adjusted. So research done by Harvard Center on the Developing Child show adverse fetal and early childhood experiences can and do lead to physical and chemical changes in the brain. Remember that neuroplasticity we talked about? And those changes, they can last a lifetime. These biological memories can increase the risk not only for poor physical and mental health outcomes, they can also impair future learning capacity and behavior. So what does chiropractic have to do with all of this? Gentle and specific pediatric chiropractic for all infants and toddlers can affect the chemistry around children's neurological wiring, genes, health, and development outcomes. Our baby and kid patients all come in for different reasons. General wellness, torticollis, constipation, motor and speech delays, focus issues, but they all heal because of exactly what Dr. Nicole talked about, neuroplasticity. Not only that, Many times they actually heal faster than our older patients because their brains are so plastic. Look at how massive the brain's ability to change is at 2, 4, 6, and 8 years old, and how little effort it takes. When our kiddos get through their care plans, we see some of the fastest and most improved results because of that, and it's so cool to see. And I mentioned earlier that we all have the ability to rewire our brain. Just like babies, everyone from teenagers to adults, we also have the ability to change how our brains operate. Just like learning a new sport, a new language, or instrument, our health is the exact same. With every adjustment, our body learns new neurological patterns, and with enough time and consistency, we can use neuroplasticity to our advantage too. Being older, with the patterns more deeply set in our brain, it does take more time and repetitions, but we can do it. Adults get stuck on that gas pedal that we're always talking about, so when we adjust newborns, toddlers, infants, teenagers, adults, we're finally able to hit the brake pedal so we can rest and recover. It's just how plastic we are at that time is going to determine how much effort we need, as shown here when we move horizontally along this way. It is easier and takes less effort to form strong connections during the early years than it is to fix things later.
Yeah, and that's what's so cool when babies and kids get adjusted. Those patterns haven't rooted as deep, so they can establish better, healthier patterns faster and earlier. We love seeing this with the scans we do, and it's amazing that at every progress scan, parents see night and day differences. They really see what's happening when their little ones are under chiropractic care. So thanks for watching and taking the time out of your day to learn more about neuroplasticity. We hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll see you on the next one.